Thelma Melton was hiking near Deep Creek.
See, I would think the older people would have tougher meat.
Yeah. This is in 81, and she'd hiked there a lot of times, so she was really familiar with the area. She was hiking with friends.
Oh.
She walked ahead of them over a hill. When they went over the hill, she was just gone. They never could.
That's what happens for being an overachiever.
They couldn't find her. Looked for a long time, so then they go back to the campground thinking, well, maybe something happened and she decided to go back to the campground.
Right.
No trace of her there.
I think the friends ate her.
I would be...
No trace of her ever.
I would think so, too.
There were massive search...
Or have you ever seen The Hills Have Eyes?
There were massive search efforts on all three, but not a single trace of any one of them ever
so
came up.
The dogs followed her scent, and then
just disappeared.
we're all of a sudden like, well, fuck, I don't know.
And
actually, the missing 411 cases, there's a lot of those. That's
really? That seems so odd to me.
That's one of the criteria where they had found a trail, started tracking the trail, and it just disappears.
See, that doesn't make sense to me unless they were loaded up in a van or abducted by aliens.
like taken off,
taken away from...
If I grabbed you and pulled you, there'd still be a trail.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Yeah, for real.
Now listen to this.
But for real, I mean that's the those.
Yeah.
Is there another way that I'm not thinking? Obviously not the aliens, but unless you pick somebody up,
so they're no longer making contact with the ground.
There's been instances where there's a cliff there, but
or water.
Even they've searched
at the bottom,
with drones and stuff. And
the one search of the little boy that just when they jumped out to scare the kids, and that was in 46, right? They spent $65,000
in 1946
looking for this kid and never found a trace.
That's like $1 million now.
So that's not like they were like, we'll poke around. I mean, that was...
they're not running a grid. They're doing the full fucking thing.
And they looked for him for a long time to accrue that kind of cost, and they never found anything. So... This one happened in the San Bernardino National Forest in 1991. It was an overnight Boy Scout trip.
California cannibals.
And this was with a church. This little boy was 12.
Well, that's not very vegan of them.
It's not. Had to take some time out from hugging those trees.
They just were crunchy
to go
and shit.
eat people.
Why did we have to say that he was shy and pudgy?
My God.
What the fuck? Go get the shy fat kid.
The marbling in the steak is what gives it all the flavor.
That'll taste better in the dumplings.
The veggie ones are slower.
Yeah.
Easier to get. Yep.
12-year-old Jared, described as shy and pudgy. So now we're going to just talk shit on him.
He's a little husky.
Oh my God, y'all, when we were at the thing yesterday, the guy looked at Mason because he got a t-shirt and he goes, that boy's gonna need a large.
Oh my God.
No, Austin laughed for hours. He just but anyway, so he was with 5 other scouts and a troop leader. So this is not a kid that just went off.
No, there was adult supervision.
Yeah, and there were a lot of people. So they were hiking up at Mount San Gorgonio. That's a weird name.
What?
It was
that is weird.
It was a 11.5 foot peak.
That's not very tall.
11,500.
Oh.
11 foot 500.
Shut the fuck up.
What is that?
Let me verify. 11,500
That's
feet.
much bigger. That is much bigger.
So Jared, being shy and husky.
Does it actually say that?
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh my God.
Apparently the person that wrote this article is a dick.
Jared being a fatty. Couldn't make it up the hill because he was fat and he was fatty and he was thinking about food. Little fatty.
Easily lure him with some tea.
Fucking assholes. Get in the van, fatty. I got some cheeseburgers. Fucking dick. What kind of asshole? I want to...
Jared
Jesus Christ. I really want to know who wrote this.
fell behind the group.
Because he was fat.
Differing reports.
Twisted an ankle and biscuits and gravy started flowing out of it.
Differing reports have him either wandering off the trail
for food.
Just wandering off.
Falling behind because he stopped to tie his shoe.
And eat a snack.
Oh my God.
To tie his shoe.
Or being told to This is the worst. Hang back, and the troop will collect him on the way back down.
God.
Fucking dick. You just...
Who is the dick that wrote this article?
You just stay here and eat your
No,
Fat Boy
it's
snacks.
from the...
We'll get you on the way back, you fatty.
The article is from the New York Post. This guy is an asshole.
Oh, I want a copy. I want a copy of that because I am legit gonna fucking write that guy. Be like, we appreciate the article, the podcast on it, but you're a dick.
No. Write him and be like, hey, please return a picture so that we can critique you like you did this little child.
Yeah.
I'm just taking what the troop leader told me
Yeah.
and putting it on paper. That's all.
Said being told to hang back will collect you on the way down. Whatever the case, they never saw him again.
Got lured away with some
Bastards just left
Rescue
him.
teams as far west as Malibu searched around the clock. Eventually,
Well, they're in California. There's not a whole
God
lot
damn
farther.
it! Here it goes again.
Farther west you can go. I mean,
Being so fat, he couldn't have got far.
they figured they would have seen him floating in the ocean. Fucking dicks.
They searched around the clock, eventually turning up Jared's backpack, beef jerky, camera. Wait, you haven't even got the
Well,
word.
he's got to be dead. The beef jerky's still here.
His backpack, beef jerky, a camera, and some candy wrappers.
Oh, God dang.
Well, what we figure happened was the little fat fatty was eating the candy and ate too much and just exploded. Must have exploded before he got to the beef jerky, though. Little fat fatty. What about... Jesus Christ on a... What a fucking bunch of dicks.
They developed 12 photographs from the camera.
We figured we'd have seen him at the IHOP with a plate of biscuits and gravy.
Mostly were landscapes, but the last one was a picture of Jared's eyes and nose, and that picture was taken after the timestamp on it was after he was missing.
Oh.
Yeah, the camera was discovered in the same area as the other items.
I have to ask. His eyes and nose, like, still attached?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
Because I think I've seen that before. It was just like a close up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Almost like
and
it
I know
was-
that seemed like a weird...
Which is, I mean,
I know that seemed like a weird question, but we are talking about cannibals,
Yeah.
and they tend to eat people.
And-
that is weird. You wouldn't do that to your, especially with like a flash.
Yeah. It was almost like he was, like doing, like, said,
It was an accident.
the camera was discovered in the same area as the other items,
So that wasn't in his backpack. Okay.
but after a 16-day search that included 5 helicopters,
Oh, wow.
rangers on horseback, and infrared cameras,
Shit.
Yeah.
they never found any trace of him. I mean, again, these were extensive searches.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say, that's a pretty
here's the
extensive
thing.
search.
Like, if he fell in a body of water, if it's a creek, river, whatever, he still would have come up.
At some point,
I mean,
yeah.
this is an issue like
16 days.
North Arkansas.
searched.
A couple of those lakes are really deep. I'm talking 300-400
Yeah.
foot. There have been people that have gone missing on those lakes. If they get to the bottom, they don't. It's cold. It's dark. They don't build up the gases
Right.
in the body to bring them back up. But if there's nothing like that close by,
And if there were, they'd know.
they'd know. Yeah.
There's a story about 2 girls. I think they were young, maybe young 20s, that went hiking, and it was just the 2 of them. And it was the same thing with them. They found a camera. A lot of it was like pictures of the ground because it was dark, and they think they were using it
As
to
like a
flash
light,
on
yeah.
the camera to see where they were going. And I think like the last picture was a close up of like the back of one of the girls' heads or something. And they were never found.
Okay, this one, we got another one. This was
Is this the same writer?
yeah, I'm assuming.
Because if he starts calling people
Oh
fat
my
fatties
God.
again...
I think he got all that from the troop leader.
yeah, the troop leader was
Well, the
trying
troop leader's a fucking dickhole.
was
then.
trying
That's-
to
Yeah.
excuse why he left this kid.
Yep.
Because let's face it, I sent my kid with you thinking he was going to be supervised, and you left him because you were impatient with him because he wasn't as physically fit as you thought he should be, and something
And
happened to it.
it's not like the troop leader didn't know who this kid was beforehand.
Right.
It's not like, what was his name?
Patrick.
It's not like Patrick showed up one day.
Jared, I'm sorry.
Jared. It's not like Jared showed up one day and the troop leader was like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah,
motherfucker, you knew who this kid was."
Yeah. This is a whole family, and this is the first one where they did eventually find some remains.
The 12-year-old, the family was in the cabins.
Hold on, no, this was camping, like in tents.
That's why I don't do that shit.
They were named the Cowdens, and this was in the Siskiyou Mountains in Applegate, Oregon. This was Labor Day, 1974.
So I just want to put it out there that it's not just hillbillies that are doing this.
No, this is literally all over. So it was the Cowdens went camping in the Siskiyou Mountains in Applegate, Oregon over Labor Day weekend, 1974. But they had a dinner scheduled with the dad, Richard Cowden's mother, on September the 1st, and they never showed up. So, of course, they started looking for them. They said they get there to because they had known where they were camping. They get there, nothing is undisturbed. It just looked like that they got up and walked away.
So all their camping gear is still there.
Everything.
Looks like
So there had been a huge search. They said they must have been abducted.
And how many were in the family? Did it say?
4.
Okay.
Parents, 2 children. Children were small. So they do the search. They don't find them. So this was in 1974. So 9 months later, in April of 75, only 100 feet from the campsite, so they couldn't have been there all along, Richard's body was found tied to a tree.
Oh my God!
Wow, 100 feet? Yeah, there's no way he was there.
They were always
was that
there.
The dad?
That was the dad.
Yeah.
And then the bodies of his wife and 2 small children were found in a cave with rocks sealing the entrance.
How were they found then?
I think because
probably when they found the dad, they did a more extensive search,
with like cadaver dogs and shit.
Close area. Yeah.
Because again,
and how long after was that they were missing?
September of 1974. Dad's body was found April of 75.
So that's 7 months
later.
Yeah.
God.
And so so then they found.
That's probably.
I wonder if this was. Where'd you say it was?
Oregon.
I wonder if this was a lot of place that got like a lot of snow. Like
Yeah,
maybe
I don't know. And maybe
his body was covered with snow and they couldn't find him.
If he's tied to a tree, he's got to be upright.
Yeah.
Well, he could be sitting on the ground tied.
But even
Yeah,
then,
but in September,
there
Oregon's
wouldn't have been
not
that
gonna
kind
get
of
3
snow
foot
in
of snow.
September.
No.
So no, he couldn't have. Yeah, and so so apparently a killer who was serving 2 life sentences took credit for it and said, but they don't really think that. They think that he was just like trying to get glory because they were like, there's really no evidence to link.
People do that. Killers do that. Sometimes I wonder, are they just want the credit for it? Like, oh yeah,
I was so bad.
Or do they want another killer out there that's not going to get caught?
I think it's probably
a little bit of both.
Like they get the credit for it. It makes it like inflates their street cred, so to speak. And then they know more chaos and stuff is because they're not going to look now because I took credit. So somebody else is free to wreak a little more havoc. But yeah, but there's no conviction and the case remains open. So they don't know. Like my thing is, where were they between? Yeah,
between time they went missing and the time they found them.
Yeah, so that's really weird.
Yeah.
This is another family. This is in Death Valley National Park. I just wouldn't cancel their camp there on principle just because of the name.
Man,
well, not only that, I mean, Death Valley, it's...
Sounds inhospitable.
Well, it's like average temperature is like 120 degrees.
Yeah, and not only that, it gets extremely cold at night. Yeah. So you're either freezing or literally on fire.
Chloe, stay away from Death Valley.
Me and my mom going to visit one of my uncles in California drove through Death Valley one summer and the AC went out in the van. And it was like 110 degrees with no fucking air conditioning.
Yeah. Okay, so this was in July of 96. July in Death Valley.
So 110, 120 degrees.
The last
Those cannibals were eating good, and their shit was already cooked.
They were
Yeah.
eating jerky, is what they were eating,
The
because
last-
there's no humidity there.
known trace of this group was a guest book signature in a box at a small ghost town on 7/23/96.
Is this a family?
Well, I think, yeah, they were a family, but they had like different names because
okay.
Connie, Egbert, George, and Max. Egbert, Remkus, Cornelia Meyer, and George Weber. I don't understand